ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्.
Now, like any other class or like all the classes in Java, I want to say string s equal to new string and then pass the value for the string. Can I do that? Will it give me a compilation error? Let's check it out. So now we are going to say string s, string space s equal to hello world. A cute hello world. Okay, so now this is a particular string with the value hello world. I don't want to create it this way. I want to create it the way all the Java objects are being created. I want to say string s equal to new string. Okay, let's place this and say string s1. We'll create another string. String s1 equal to new string, okay, and give parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis give the string value as hello world. Now tell me how many objects would be created? Only 1, 2, 3, 4. How many of them? Let's become compilers and think. This is my string constant pool. I execute line number 5 and I say I have to create an object called as hello world and my s is pointing to it. Done. Then I see string s1 equal to new string hello world. Now when this particular line is getting executed, at this time 2 objects are getting created. Okay? Now only one object over here is getting created. Now what is that one object? That one object is the string hello world. But where is this string placed? This string is placed on the heap and it is not there in your string constant pool. Okay? You say over here hello world, your s1 is pointing to an object in the heap called as hello world. Now over here at this particular point, since it is a string, I would try to create an hello world object also. But here at this particular point, I will see in the string constant pool there is an object with the name hello world already created, so I would not go ahead and create a new one. Okay, so you have to understand that at line number 6, whenever you are executing line number 6, there are 2 objects which are getting created. One would be there in your heap. The another one, if there is no object with the name hello world in your string constant pool, there would be another object created in string constant pool. Okay, now I think this is getting confused. You guys are getting confused. Instead of hello world, just write over here hello KMIT. Yeah, so this would be better for them to understand. Now tell me, is this object different from hello world? Yes, it is. This string has the value hello KMIT, this string has the value hello world. Okay? Now, when you are executing line number 5 and line number 6, how many objects are getting created? 1, 2, 3. The answer is 3. Why? Line number 1, hello world got created, s is pointing to hello world. Fine. Line number 2, you create an object hello KMIT, and since you are explicitly using your new keyword, your object is going to get created and it would be placed on the heap over here like this. Okay, S1 is your reference variable which is pointing to hello KMIT over here. Now another variable or another object, hello KMIT, because it is a string, it has to be there in a string constant pool. So what would happen? Hello KMIT would be here also, but it would not have any reference. You cannot access this particular hello KMIT object which is placed in your string constant pool, because the reference which you are creating S1 is used to point the object which is on heap. Here you will create an object but it would not have any reference, which means that your memory is getting waste. Okay, object getting created, taking place in the memory, but I cannot use this object. Why can't I use this object? Because I don't have a reference variable over here. Why don't I have a reference variable over here? The reference variable which I was using is being taken by the stack and the heap, and this object hello KMIT which is placed on the heap is accessed by that new reference which was getting created, or the reference which got created. String S1 equal to new hello KMIT. Okay, so this particular thing I want to specify you. This might come in your exam or in any of your certification exams, when they give you this particular line and ask you how many objects are getting created when your line number 6 is getting executed. 2 objects, one on the heap and one in your string constant pool. The one in the heap will have reference variable, the one in the string constant pool will not have any reference variable. Okay, so now let's play with the other methods which are defined in your string. Can we have a look at the string API? Yeah, so okay, let's start from anywhere. Let's see this compare to ignore case. Now suppose once, can you go back to your string? Okay, over here, that's fine. Now after line number 7, or before, delete this line number 7. Yeah, let's create string A equal to ABC. String A equal to ABC. Okay. String B okay, now change the C to uppercase. Okay, right now how many objects are going to get created? 2 objects are going to get created. Okay, one with ABC with all lower cases, one with ABC with C as capital case. Now just write system.out.println after line number 8. System.out.println println, good, A dot equals B. Is A equal to B? I am trying to ask it. Okay, in parenthesis, give parenthesis, say A dot equals parenthesis for equals is a method. Okay, now close the parenthesis again once more for system.out.println. Yeah, semicolon. Yeah, compile it. What should be the answer? Is A equal to B? The value is equal but the syntax is not, so it should give you false. Okay, so let's compile it first. Java ST3. Good. It's saying as false. But now, instead of equals, I would say, see boss, you only treat the content as content and don't see whether it is uppercase or lowercase. Okay, so go to edit plus and say, instead of equals, say equals to ignore case. Okay, please can you go to the API, compare to ignore case. See, compares two strings lexicographically ignoring case differences. Lexicographically means alphabetically. Okay, and it's going to give you an integer, either 0 or it's going to give you 1. Yeah, so instead of equals, we are going to say equals to ignore case. Now compile it and run it. So the answer is coming as 0. That means it is matching. Okay. Now go back to the program, and instead of C over here, give E. E as an egg. Okay. Or give a capital E. Okay. And now we would compile it. Compile it again. Run the application. It's giving you -2. What are these integers? Actually what happens is, go to your edit plus. Whenever I am going to compare, I am going to ignore the case and compare. If the value does not match, then I am going to subtract the ASCII value of this with this particular string. So I am subtracting the ASCII value of E to C. Okay, I am subtracting the ASCII value of E from the ASCII value of C, and the result which I am getting is -2, because C is some ASCII value, D and E. If you subtract them, it would always come as -2. Okay, so now the next thing, go after line number 9, type system.out.println. Yes. Okay, copy that on line number 10. Okay, and then type a.length. Now here I am saying, please compare to the ignore case. So the ASCII value of ABC is getting compared with the ASCII value of ABE. But instead of compare to ignore case, if I would have used equals to ignore case, it would have either given me a true or it would have given me a false. You can use either one of them. Okay, yeah. Save it and compile it. Okay, it's giving you the value as 3. Just go back, what have we typed? The length, okay, the length of the string is 3, correct. Okay, now go back to edit plus and we would type the same thing, system.out.println a dot equals ignore case. Yeah, good. Semicolon. First we would like to compile it. There is an error. Let's check the error at line number 14. Yeah. It's coming as false. It would either come as false or it would come as true. Okay, now it won't give you any kind of number. Now, go back and say, go to the API. We will see all the methods one by one. Go up. Here. I will just cover the very important methods in string. You can directly scroll this up. That's it. Okay. Now here, char at. Now what you need to do is, you have your entire string. Your entire string is, I am going to write the string over here because this string would be very useful when we are going through all the methods. So here, I would say hello, H-E-L-L-O, hello, world, W-O-R-L-D. This is my string with a space over here. Okay. Now, the first one says char at. You have to provide the index and it would return you what is the character at that particular index. Now, whenever you start counting from 0. Okay. So, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be your space, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, this entire string which I have is made up of 10 characters. Now, if I say what is the character is at 7, it would give me O as in character. Okay. So, let's try this out. Let's go to system.out.println. Okay. Now, we are going to say a dot char at, copy line number 11. Can you please copy line number 11? Okay, and paste it on line number 12. Okay, now say a dot char at, can you please remove this? And instead of B, write 0 over there. Give one more parenthesis. That's it. Okay. So at 0, when we are saying a dot char at 0, what would be the value printed? The value would be A again. Can you please quickly compile it now? At line number 13, I think we did not give the correct parenthesis. Yeah, one more parenthesis is required after 13. Now we compiled the code and the answer what we are getting is as A. Okay, so we did A dot character at 0. Go to the API again. We would cover only the very important things. This is not required. You can scroll, very slowly scroll down so that the people can see. Compare to, it is either, see, compare to, you compare it with another string. Whenever you are using compare, it's going to compare it alphabetically and it's going to give you the difference between the two alphabets in the form of integer. Okay? Compare to, ignore case. We have seen this both. Concat also we have seen. Can you scroll down a bit? Contains. Okay? Now suppose you have hello world. This is your entire string. Or you have an entire string which is very big. Hello, big, 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 small, 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 small world. Okay? Now, this is your entire string and you want to check whether in this entire big string, do you have a word world? Okay? So, in that case, you are going to go for contains. Okay? And then see whether it's going to return you a true or whether it's going to return you a false. Whether the character sequence which you are passing over here is there in your string or it is not there. Okay, come down. Okay, again ends with is again one string, very important method. You can always check whether this particular string is ending with a D or it is ending with a P or it is ending with a S or it is ending with the ing or no. Okay, now we will just use this thing ends with. Okay, go to your application, create a string at line number 13 saying that string S2 equal to anything, say Genesis, Okay, and now say system.out.println, system.out.println, yeah, copy this, S2 dot ends with W should be capital, ends with SIS. Okay, now just give it in the form of string, please. Can you give double quotes? Yeah. So it's going to give me a Boolean value. It's going to check whether it is ending with SIS or not, and going to give me the value. Yeah. Compile it and run it quickly. It's giving you true because your Genesis was ending with your SIS sequence. Okay, go back to your API. Okay, equals we have done, equals to ignore case is done. Go back, format is not important. Okay. Again, now here in the first thing we had done character of. Now what you need to do, if you want to find the index of a particular character, you've got to pass the ASCII value of that character, and then it's going to give you the index of that particular character. Okay? Last index of, it's saying that returns the index within the string of the last occurrence of the specified character. Now I have to give the character again in the form of integer. Suppose, I'll explain you what does this mean. If I am giving Genesis, okay, this is my letter, and I say just give me the last index of character S. Then what am I going to do is, okay, GENESIS. The last occurrence is where? The last letter. So I'm going to give the last, whatever the index of this particular last letter is, I'm going to give that as the index. Whenever I give index of, it's going to give me the first letter occurrence. So if I give index of S, it is going to give me the index of S over here. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Index of gives me 4 number, last index of gives me 6 number. Okay, it depends on whatever letter you are passing. When do you want the index of this number? When it is occurring first or when it is occurring last? Now, if there is only one letter in your entire word, then in that case, your first occurrence also be the same, your last occurrence would also be the same. Scroll down. Length we have already done. Okay, come down. Replace. This is again very useful method. Now suppose you have your very big string called as hello world, and you want to replace hello, or you want to replace your world with hello KMIT. Okay, now what you need to do? You need to use this particular method as replace. You are going to replace the occurrence of that word with a new word. We will just look how we are supposed to use replace. Go to line number 15. Say string S3 equal to hello big world. Hello space big world. Big, not bib. Hello big world. Yes, now in here close the parenthesis. Yeah, now just say system.out.println. I'm going to replace the big word with small. Okay, so I would say S3 dot replace. Okay, now give, no, replace, replace big with small. Can you please end the parenthesis here? Yeah. Comma, give a comma, give small. Say small, S-M-A-L-L, yeah. Close your parenthesis, yeah. Okay, now compile. You're supposed to give 2 parentheses over here. Now compile. And now print it again. Now it's saying hello small world. So what it has done, it has replaced all the occurrences of big with the word small. Okay, go back to the API. Come down. Okay, you have replace all also. Now suppose you want to say hello big small world. You want to replace only one big with the letter small. Then in that case you've got to use replace first. That means replace only the first word with small. Don't replace all with the word small. Okay. Now split. Split is a very important method in your string. Okay. Now what happens when you are using split? What does it mean? What is the English meaning of split? To separate. In the same way, split method is used in order to separate a string. Okay. Now suppose if I have a string called as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I want to separate this string based on comma. Wherever there is comma, I want to separate it. Okay. Or I want to cut the string. Okay. Now split is used in this particular format, or split is used in order to split your string based on a delimiter, based on a specific occurrence of a special character. Now when I say that I have a string which contains of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, what is the speciality of this string? Each word or each letter is separated by a comma. Comma is called as delimiter. So when I am using a split method, I am going to provide a delimiter saying that based on this delimiter, wherever you get this particular delimiter, please split the string. Okay. So now here, how many parts of the string would I get in this particular application or in this particular example? How many times this string is going to get splitted? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times this string is going to get cut, and I am going to get how many objects? 7 objects out of this. Now, after you have a string, based on a particular delimiter, you are going to cut the string. What would happen to these parts which are cut? They are going to get assembled into an array, and based on whether you want the first element or the second element or the third element, how you access your array, you are supposed to access those parts. Okay. Now this particular thing, your split method, is very useful when you are reading files. Okay. Now whenever you are reading a CSV file, which is often called as comma separated file. Okay. In a comma separated file, all the details about a person or all the data is given in the format, in a particular format, where each detail is separated by a comma. Suppose I say that I have a CSV file which has got the employee details of a particular number. Okay. Now what we would do over here is we are going to create a string. Okay, so this particular string will have names of employees. Okay, suppose I'm reading it from a file. I have not explained you what file is, so I will not go into the details of file. Okay, so now in this particular example, I have a string which is separated by a delimiter, comma, okay, Genesis, KMIT, Trishul, e-learning. Now what am I going to do is, I'm going to use a split method on S4. So in the next line, if you type S4 dot split, S4 dot split, split on what basis? In the parenthesis, just give parenthesis, you have to give the delimiter. Based on what delimiter I want to split this particular string. Okay, give the delimiter as comma. So give double quotes mein comma. Give a comma. Yeah, this is the way how you specify. Now the string is going to split it or cut your string based on this delimiter. Now where are the paths going to get accumulated? They are going to get accumulated into a string. Okay, so the return type for split is a string array. So I'm going to say string S5 array. Okay, just write it over here. String S5 on line number 18 itself. On line number 18 itself. Yeah. String S5 string S5, give square brackets to specify that, square brackets to specify that it's an array equal to S4 dot split semicolon at the end of the line. Okay, and now we are going to print the array. For, write a for statement for I equal to 0. Yeah, now just see what you're doing. Yeah, int I equals 0. I equals 0. Yeah, I less than S5 dot length, which is nothing but the total L should be lowercase. Okay, and I plus plus. So I'm going through an array and going to print the value whatever is there in the array. So just write over here, inside your for loop, system.out.println, system.out.println S of I. S of I. Yeah, good. Semicolon. Yeah. Save it. Compile it. Run it. See, now when you're running it, what are you printing? You're printing your array. What does your array contain now? Genesis, KMIT, Trishul, learning. Which means your string has been split up based on your delimiter which you provided, that is comma. Now let's go to Edit Plus. And instead of giving a comma over here, I would give a semicolon. Yeah, semicolon. Now here, do I have a semicolon in the string? No. So would it split? It should not. It should not split. So I would have only one member which contains the entire string because I could not find anything to split it all. So now when I am printing the value of my array, what would happen? I will get this entire string. See, what would have happened is, I have this string mentioned over here, Genesis blah 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 blah. I start from here for splitting. I am in search for semicolon. I did not find anything, so I am going to return an array, and this array is going to contain this particular piece because I did not cut it. Why I did not cut it? Because I did not get the delimiter for it. Okay. Now let's go back to the API and check whether we have some more interesting methods left. Again, how do we have starts with, ends with? In the same way, we can check whether it starts with the same thing or not. Okay, now one very important method again is your substring. Okay, you can cut the string from wherever you want, just pass the index to it. Okay, now we will be using this substring. Go back to your this thing, yeah, come down, just type a string S6 equal to just say a big day. That's it. Okay, day, that's it. Okay, now I want to cut this particular string, and instead of having this big day, I want to only have one big day. So what I need to do is, I need to calculate. I want to cut this string and only use my big day. So I would calculate 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We should not have come till here. 14, no? 13, 12. So from 12, I want my string. I don't want this big at all. So what I would do is, I would say system.out.println. Now I would say s6.substring. S6.substring. I want to print only big day. So please take the baby of the string, or take a substring from index number 12. Just give a 12 over here. Yeah. Okay. And now print this. So instead of a big string, I want a small string. I am substringing it. Java ST3. So now what I have at the end? I have got only one big day. Which string am I printing? I am printing S6 only, but I am substringing it, and I am saying that please go to your edit plus. Please print from index number 12. I am substringing it over here. Go to your API. I don't think any method is left, but we'll just check. Go back. Now suppose, here was from index number 12 to the end of the string you will print. But suppose you want only two bigs. Okay, so you can give the beginning index and the ending index, so that you can get only the chunk from the middle. Okay, go to your edit plus. Now instead I'm going to write over here before 12, yeah, write 12, 11, 10, 9 comma 12. Give 9 comma 12. Now what would come over here? Only one big is going to come over here. Okay, because I want only one big letter from wherever I'm going to substring it. Give the beginning index, give the end index. So I got only IG. That means after 9, it only counted 10 and 11. It did not include your 12th letter. It did not include your 9th letter. Okay, so I only got this IG from big. Okay, go back to your API. Now, if you want to convert your entire string to a lowercase, you can use this particular value as 2 lowercase. Then again you will have a method. If you want to convert your entire string into uppercase, you'll have to use 2 uppercase. Can you scroll down please? Okay, now this trim is also very important part. Suppose if you have white spaces at the beginning of the letter or at the end of the letter. When I said I am going to pass KMIT, after KMIT there is going to be space. Okay, if I want to cut this particular space, then what I need to use? I need to make use of trim. I'll just give you an example. Go to your edit plus. Just type one more string S7. S7 equal to start the double quote, say KMIT, and just go on pressing space. Yeah, and close your double quotes. So I have a huge gap over here, which I don't want to use it. I want to omit this gap, and I want to make use only of KMIT. Okay, so now I'm going to say system.out.println s7.trim. So it's going to trim all the spaces, go back to all the spaces after KMIT, all the spaces before KMIT. Okay, now in order to show you before effect also, can you come here? Space. That's it. One more space. That's it. So I have spaces at the leading edge, spaces at the trailing edge. By using trim, all these spaces are going to vanish. Okay. Parenthesis for trim. Semicolon. Yes. Print this again. Okay, what you got when you're printing, you're only getting this KMIT. There was no space over here, there would be no space over here too. Okay, go back to the API. Go up, go down actually. No, you have to go up actually. The methods end over there. Now here again, when I was telling you, you give age, you convert your string into an integer. You convert your string into a double. You convert a string into a float. This is how you're supposed to give it as. Okay? No, it would be parsing it. No, sorry. Here, it's the other way around. If you have a long, and if you want to convert it into a string, you've got to pass it in this way. If you have an integer and if you want to convert it into a string, you've got to use value of. Okay. Now for string to convert it into integer, for a string to convert it into a long, for a string to convert it into a float, you've got to use other methods which are parsing methods. Okay. They are called on that particular object itself. Integer.parseInt, you have to pass your string, which is going to give you your integer back. So that is in other classes. In this class, your integer can be converted into string, your float can be converted into string, your double can be converted into string. So all primitive data types, if you want to convert them into string, you've got to use the method value of. So these are some methods which are declared in your string class, and guys, if you don't practice it, you would not get it. So I would request you, just go through the API and try and at least practice all the methods so you know what this string API is all about and how to use this. I would conclude the session today by saying all the implementations of string are final. You cannot inherit from this particular class, you cannot change the implementation of this particular class. Okay?